Can you hear me? What I'm looking for is for the girl that's in the house to come out here because I'm going to rip her and kill her. Can you have her open the door?
Man, it's about to get scary up in here. What's good? What's good? I'm gonna need to go ahead and learn to just start just being quiet, because when y'all be sending some stuff and I'm like, bro, low key, this ain't even scary. Like this, y'all send like trash. Y'all be like, all right, I got something for you. Then I get something like dummy scarier, bro. That last Mr. Ballin video. About to check out YouTube's darkest videos #2. I didn't even see #1. A lot of y'all kept throwing this at me though by the homie Nick Crowley. Check out the original video. Link will be in the description below. Well, let's go. Puberty was real there.
Nature gathering its forces for still another unending assault on man.
1-800-Embassy for It sounds like it came right out of a zombie movie.
Computers are living in the basements. Go below and stay below ground level.
Man, this sound creepy so far.
Tornado warning.
April 9th, 2015, a tornado begins to form during the evening hours in the small town of Franklin Grove, Illinois, quickly growing larger and larger by the minute to the point of reaching an unprecedented size for the area.
Oh my gosh.
Miles away in the town of Fairdale, 67-year-old Geraldine Schultz spotted the vortex forming in the distance. Worried, she called her husband Clem into the kitchen, where the two would stand watching the tornado.
Oh, because it is speaking in like as if they're not there to just show pictures. I know this is going. Good gosh.
For the couple, tornadoes were nothing new, and Clem was quickly able to determine that the storm would likely miss them to the east. But just to be safe, he went upstairs to grab some lanterns, in the likely event of a power outage. Upon doing so, Clem would catch a glimpse of the tornado outside the bedroom window, having grown significantly closer. Its wind speeds were well over 200 miles an hour, and having been classified as an EF4, it was the largest twister the area had ever seen. In awe of its size, Clem began to record out the window, still certain that the storm was heading east.
Man, that look like it's coming your way, bro.
But unfortunately, he was wrong.
I knew it,
and
man.
In reality, the powerful storm was heading directly towards him.
Like, do you know how scary? Like, no cap. I've never been in like no serious one, but like growing up in Michigan, we used to get them. Like every time it happened, bro, it's so damn scary because it's like the winds are so legit, like dummy strong. And all you hear these like loud sirens and everything. Like, bro, tornadoes are dumb scary. I never want to be in one.
And in reality, the powerful storm was heading directly towards him. By the time Clem would realize this, it was far too late. There was no time to run, and not a chance to hide.
Bro.
All he could do was stand there helplessly and watch.
No, is this his video?
It was a direct hit, as the EF4 tornado tore through the house before Clem could even say a word, quickly turning the home that had once stood there for 100 years to...
Bro, and in Illinois, I think y'all got bases like when stuff like that happened, bro. You shouldn't have been upstairs recording it, dude. You gotta get in the basement. Would it have been a direct hit? The basement may not have been the best option still, but it's kind of like, shit, wearing a seatbelt in the car. It may not be the best option, but the possibilities of it doing shut up. The possibilities of it doing a little more better, just it boosts it a little bit.
The tornado tore through the house before Clem could even say a word, quickly turning the home that had once stood there for 100 years to dust and rubble. And buried beneath it all was Clem, along with his wife of 25 years.
They got fire rescue on the way. Okay.
Against all odds,
gosh,
Clem
they
would
showing this?
somehow survive, pulling himself
Oh
up
my gosh, that's him! Sheesh. Scared the hell out of me. I couldn't even say shit. That's jeebus. Shit. Oh my gosh, that just gave me chills, bro.
Of debris. It was a storm that would go on to destroy numerous homes and take the lives of 2 people, one of whom was Clem's neighbor and good friend Jacqueline Closa, who lived in the house that Clem had filmed being destroyed just moments before it struck him, and the other being Geraldine, Clem's wife and best friend. Days following the disaster, a family member who had been searching the area for anything salvageable would stumble across Clem's phone, which miraculously was still working. And on it would be the now infamous video that showed the point of view of a man being struck head-on by a tornado and somehow surviving. The imagery, the sounds, and the context make this clip one of the most shocking I have ever seen, as well as one of the darkest across all of YouTube.
The tornado has passed. Capricious, swift, savage.
Damn, bro. Man, and stuff like that, like, if you be having talks like this, stuff like that is like so much more scary because you know it can really happen. When it comes to like the scary stuff, like, you know, like spirits, all that stuff, even though I believe in all that stuff, you know, like just this top figure coming alive, walking at me, stuff like that, boy, bad not. Stuff like that happening is really rare. These, like, legit, like, you know, bro, this can happen today.
On to the next video. Man. I want to briefly thank today's sponsor, Casetify. I, like many of
y'all
you
be
out
finding
there,
some lit
have had
channels,
a
bro.
long history of dropping my phone and cracking the screen, which is a pain to fix and not to mention very expensive. But luckily, Casetify is here to help.
$20.
Casetify is a
won't work
tech
after next
accessory
week, though.
brand that makes high-quality cases for phones and AirPods.
New high-tech way to find out who's at the door.
With a video doorbell, you'll never miss a visitor.
Nigga, I wish I would.
In the past few years, the world has seen a boom in the use of doorbell cameras.
Hey, and these things got some creepy stories behind them, dude. I've seen so many creepy Mr. Nightmare videos, basically just scary videos in general that include these damn rings.
Mainly because of instances like this.
Oh, they got a camera.
Hell yeah, now get your goofy ass on.
Capturing and exposing criminals in the act, from the most petty of thieves all the way to attempted murderers and kidnappers. Due to their knack for capturing disturbing encounters, the videos that have emerged from these devices have practically carved out their own genre here on YouTube, to the point that many, including myself, have almost become desensitized to them. But recently, a video began making the rounds, showing the events that transpired at a Las Vegas home on the evening of July 21st, 2021.
Is this one when that girl got kidnapped?
And it proved to be one of the most chilling I have ever seen.
I think we saw this one.
It happened around 8 p.m., where a young lady had been working in her kitchen, waiting for her husband to return home from work.
No, hold up.
It was another 100-degree day in Vegas, and likely in an attempt to cool down, she would open her window to let the evening breeze in. Unbeknownst to her, this harmless decision would lead to a terrifying series of events. Outside of the home, a man had been wandering the suburban streets aimlessly, roaming throughout the neighborhood.
Look, the suburbs ain't even safe. It's crazy. And it's always weirdos. I don't get it. It's weird. People are weird as dog. Excuse my language.
Or stopping in his tracks. In front of him was the open window and a clear view of the
he saw that as
inside.
opportunity.
It was a chance sighting that would lead to the man approaching the house and ringing the doorbell, where the camera would begin to record.
Are you sure? I just rang your doorbell because I have a couple questions for you.
Nigga, you ain't got no questions for me, cuz.
Are you sure?
Who you talking to?
I just rang your doorbell because I have a couple questions for you.
Nigga, I don't care if you ring my... This is why you come to my house. Shit like that, you getting shot. No hesitation. I don't care. It don't matter if it's me or my girl. Like, y'all think I be capping? Bro, no matter what room I'm in, I'm never lacking. Ever. You know how many BTS videos, whatever videos, It's right. It's with me every time. I don't lack, bro. You think it's a joke? Shit like this pisses me off. This is weird, bro. Why are you at this young lady's house? It ain't nothing she need from me. It ain't nothing you can offer. I wish she just if this was Florida or Texas, I know people be hating on them. That she'd have came to the door with a shotty. Blew a whole hole out your motherfucking ass.
I just rang your doorbell because I have a couple questions. Are you sure?
Yep, I'm at the like these. Yeah, what's good? What you want? What you want? What you want?
What? Are you sure?
Positive.
I just rang your doorbell because I have a couple questions for you. Are you sure?
Like this, shoot that.
The man stands there ringing the doorbell and knocking at the door, repeating the same sentences over and over again, calmly stating that he just wants to ask a few questions. However, the woman inside had never met this man. In fact, she had never seen him before this moment. And to make it all stranger, she didn't respond to anything the man was saying and was out of his line.
So who was he talking to, dog? This is why I mean I hate when people go to jail or get reversed in situations like this. If she'd have shot him, and it's like, oh man, but he didn't put you in harm. Man, if you on my property, I'm just in here chilling. We see this situation. We see what's going on here. This is you deserve to be shot situation in my book, 100%. There's no way if I was a judge and I saw this and something happened, let's say, bam, she popped his ass. Hey, you had no business there. None at all. What were you going to do? She didn't need your help. She didn't call you over there. She don't know you. And I know this shit about to get uglier because they were talking about the window open at the beginning.
It all stranger, she
Dog,
didn't
I ain't been able to watch
respond
this video.
to anything the man was saying and was out of his line of view as he peeked through the door. So the phrases that he was saying were not in response to anyone, and instead, he was speaking to himself. Fearing for her safety, the woman inside didn't open the door or engage him at all, leading the man to take things a step further.
Are you positive? I just have a couple questions for you. Are you sure? Are you positive? Are you sure? Are you absolutely certain?
He begins trying to open the door, but thankfully it was locked, causing the strange man to start walking away, cursing under his breath. The footage is incredibly off-putting, and although the man seems to stay perfectly calm, there was something very aggressive and erratic about the way he was speaking, making one wonder what his true intentions were when he approached the house. As the man begins to walk away, the woman's husband, still at work, would chime in through the doorbell.
I thought he was about to say the woman husband came. I'm about to say, man, beat this nigga ass, cuz.
After noticing the situation begin to unfold, which in turn would lead to the man revealing why he was ringing the doorbell.
So who are you?
What?
You heard me, cuz?
Yeah? Are you sure?
Who are you?
Hey, I just had a couple questions. I just wanted to ask you about...
At that point, hey, nigga, we don't want to hear shit. Nigga, don't ever come around this bitch no more. I swear to God, I'm gonna plug your bitch ass. Bro, you gotta let them know off rip, bro. My bad for getting mad. I don't like shit like this, dog. Bro. This is crazy, man. And the crazy part is when stuff like this be happening, it pees me off when it be just the woman. Because like you said, the woman, there's only the woman there. And I hate how dudes be just praying to women like that. And even people like the last videos, one I titled like men are creep or something like that. Creeps. I know women do this stuff too. I know I never said they don't. But it is so common for a man to do some shit like that to a woman. It is. You will hear about stories of women doing stuff like that. You're like, damn, it's fucked up. But I guarantee if I watch the news right now, I'm gonna see like three or four stories about a man beating a woman, or a man kidnapping a woman, or a man raping a woman. And I get you. I bet you more than likely they're gonna have people defending them, and they're gonna get off on this shit with a spank on the wrist. Tell me I'm cap. Tell me I'm cap. My bad, go back. I love being a man, but you can't cap. Facts are facts.
Yeah? Are you sure?
Who are you?
Hey, I just had a couple questions. I just wanted to ask you about ABC law. Yeah, can you hear me? What I'm looking for is for the girl that's in the house to come out here because I'm going to rip her and kill her. Do you have her open the door?
Tim. As a judge, yes, I would. You're off free for popping his ass. This is goofy. Straight goofy, dog. He ain't there. He straight up said what it is. This is why if you leave your house, you go to work, and you know you leave your girl home all day, make sure she know where the tools at. Make sure she know how to use them. Make sure she ain't scared to use them. That's crazy to me.
Because I'm going to rip her and kill her. Do you have her open the door? I'm going to rip and kill the girl that's on the other side of this door when she lets me in.
It was no secret what he had planned for that evening. He outright says it, even revealing that he had the weapons to make it happen.
I want to rip her and kill her because I have a knife and a gun. Yeah, and I'm going to knock on her door again.
If that woman had opened the door, or if that door had been unlocked, well, we know what would have happened. But thankfully, neither of those situations played out, and instead, the man walked away muttering the same phrases over and over again.
Yeah. What?
Even staring at the house for a few moments before finally disappearing into the night. Police were called to the area.
And the crazy thing is, because in Vegas, I've been there a couple times, a lot of people are really high out of their head. I'm not talking about weed high. I'm talking about high. Your little booger sugar. I'm talking high. And when people be high off shit like that, and they be moving like that, they will do shit like that. They will do shit like that. And it's crazy, 'cause even like just growing up on the West Coast, I was call myself in Vegas a lot. I see why they call it Sin City or whatever they call it. It's like that. I can see why. Because like you will see shit like this on the norm. You just be walking and you just see somebody just high. But you can tell too. And the crazy part is it makes sense. I see why so many people go to Vegas with all their money, their life money, thinking they're about to come up, do something, end up f***ing the bag up, end up stuck there, end up homeless, live on the street, whatever happened, get on that stuff. Like, Vegas is dangerous. It's a scary place. Like, even when I've been there, it was cool, but I was like, I don't know how people can live here. It legit, the city, I kid you not, it feels like it never, ever sleeps. And not in a good way. It felt like it's always, to me, it felt like it was always night, even in the daytime. It just felt like it's always night. I don't know why. When I go to some places, it's happy. Like, you can tell I have sun on it, blah, blah. Vegas, not saying it is. It looks nice during the day, but the feeling, I don't know, it just feels like a dark place. I don't know. It was cool, but I don't know.
Moments before finally disappearing into the night. Police were called to the area moments later, but the man was nowhere to be found. As quickly as he had entered this couple's life, he was now gone, leaving them with the reality that at any moment, he could return. Scared for her life, the lady posted the clip online, where it would quickly go viral across YouTube, which honestly may have ended up saving a life. The following day, a viewer of the video would recognize the same man walking in another residential area, in one that was not too far away from the house where the encounter took place. And after the police were called, the man would be quickly arrested before he could play out his disturbing fantasy. When confronted and asked for his name, the man would simply state that he was the Holy Spirit and said nothing more, though his real name was revealed to be Christopher Sums, a man who had passed charges of stealing, assaulting, and intimidating a witness, with his mugshot being nothing short of completely haunting.
My God!
But what I found most surprising was the fact that he didn't always look like this. In fact, just a few years ago, he looked completely normal, and according to his LinkedIn, he had a fairly...
Don't it? No cap? Don't he like a just normal, handsome young man? That's crazy to me. What happened, bro? Damn, that shit got me creeped out right now. Sometimes you look at your reflection, you gotta make sure it's doing what you do, because miss a beat if you want, bitch. Nigga, miss a beat if you want. I'm out this, bro. I wish I would look at my reflection. Move right, he move right, move left. I like this, he don't do it. Oh, I'm out this, bro. Cuz, Mr. Beat, I'm gone.
To go, he looked completely
That's
normal.
crazy,
and
dog.
according to his LinkedIn, he had a fairly impressive work history and what seemed to be a good life, until for whatever reason, things spiraled in the wrong direction. As it stands,
Crazy.
Christopher is being evaluated to see if he is mentally fit to stand
Man,
trial,
what happened?
as many believe that he likely suffers from some kind of psychological condition, hence the repeating phrases and the strange behavior. Though his blatant and rapid change in appearance might also point to heavy drug use or even a combination of both. But regardless of
This
what
is
was
creepy
behind his
now.
behavior that day, the situation and the subsequent video is haunting.
At first, I was just mad as hell, but now this is kind of creepy.
It could have been so much worse had that door been opened.
Are you sure?
I feel like everyone's out to get me.
Hello, this is Tababa McConnell.
YouTube is a site that draws in people from all walks of life, each with their own unique motivation for starting
the
out their
old
channels. Some are in it for the money and the fame, while others are in it for the love of creating content. But sprinkled
Have
throughout the
fun.
site are a select few who come here to feel heard and to get something off their chest. Something that for 27-year-old Tabebe Mukanin would be his primary motivation for posting his first and only video on March 17th, 2018. Tabebe had struggled his whole life with mental illness, suffering from both schizophrenia and bipolar
Damn.
disorder. These mental
Damn.
illnesses
Oh, that goes. I'm gonna make it quick. It pees me off when I hear, because and it was funny. I watched videos on those type of mental illnesses, and I know you're not supposed to question things like that. I know, but I just feel like it don't feel fair to me, man. Like, why was this person dealt that freaking hand in life, and things like that? They can't do nothing about it, man. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there's no cure for that, is it? And I don't even know if the meds like really help do. That's stuff like that. It hurts me. Fudge, man. I'm sorry, bro, that you had to suffer that,
suffering
man.
from both schizophrenia and bipolar disorder.
sorry.
These mental illnesses led to an event in 2013 where he would wander off from his home unprovoked. Outside, he began to walk for miles, essentially in a daze, before finding himself in what he described as a very dangerous part of town. Thankfully, Tabebe would be safely found before anything had happened to him, but this incident would prove to be life-changing, as it would lead to his hospitalization due to his unpredictable and dangerous behavior. This would also start a long spell of being given heavy medication to help with his schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. Over the course of the next 4 years, Tabebe would find himself in and out of the hospital and prescribed a variety of powerful antipsychotic drugs, something that would consume his life as he felt like he was no longer in control of his actions.
This one hurt, y'all. Cause I'm sorry, man. This is one of those situations. I don't know about you all, but sometimes you really just want to help, really want to. And it hurts to know when there's a situation that it's nothing you can do, nothing can be done. It's no amount of money is gonna fix this. No one here that can fix this. Boys, like I said, bro was taking heavy meds his entire life. Nothing he can do about it. Nothing. Nothing, man. It don't feel fair to me. I'm sorry.
And feeling trapped, he would turn to YouTube to share his story.
Hello, this is Tababa McConnell. I'm talking and putting this video because I wanted to bring awareness to a situation that I'm dealing with that's very painful. I was hospitalized June 25th, 2013. I went there to supposedly get an IV. I ended up being forced to take medication, and it was pure hell. They gave me Haldol, Risperidol, and they were forcing antipsychotics down my throat. It was absolute torture and hell.
In the 10-minute video, Tabebe
Oh, gosh! And you're supposed to be there to help. I don't know if you were doing that because you had to do it. I don't know your job, but it don't sound like it.
he was not consenting to this medical treatment, and he explained how the medication he was forced to take made him feel like a zombie, even saying that it had gotten so bad that he had thoughts of taking his own life.
It was bad. It was really bad. And I had suicidal ideation.
Throughout the clip, Tebebe comes across as intelligent and well-spoken, but traces of his illness shine through periodically. For instance, he explains how immediately after being released from the hospital on multiple occasions, he would wander away from his home, even attempting to be homeless for a while admitting that he didn't know why this was an issue, or why it would always lead to him going back to the hospital.
I got off, and I think I had another episode as they like to say, where I said I wanted to be homeless. That's it. All I said was I wanted to be homeless. So, and I proceeded to be homeless. And next thing I know, the cops came and they arrested me and they took me back to the hospital. And after that, I left and I tried to be homeless again, and I was hospitalized again.
But things would be further escalated as Tebebe casually explains how he has violent outbursts, even resorting to punching multiple people who were trying to give him medication, as well as starving himself in retaliation.
So I started getting violent, and I started punching people, and I started attacking people in the hospital, and they had to tie me down.
My bad. When they say outbursts, I'm just ready for a jump scare. I'm just ready to throw the headphones off. That's it. My bad. I don't know if he about to swing at the camera.
I began to lash out like, I'm going to protest this. I'm going to starve myself as a way of hopefully stopping this ridiculous forced treatment for absolutely nothing.
And by the end of the video, Tebebe flat out explains that he does not have any sort of mental illness, or have any symptoms for that matter, calling
Wait, so he don't have it, but they treated... Wait, I'm a little confused. So he don't have it, but they treated him for that shit, man? This is crazy to me, dog. This is crazy to me.
It's happening to him an injustice.
I guess I'm just trying to let you guys know the injustice that goes on.
It's a truly depressing situation, as on one hand he is being forced to take medication that essentially makes him feel dead inside, while on the other hand it seems very apparent that treatment is necessary to not only keep others around him, but himself safe, as he doesn't seem fully aware of how serious some of his actions are. Tebebe concluded the video by asking those watching what they thought of his situation, and though it didn't garner many views, a select few would stumble upon it and agree with his stance that the treatment he was receiving was unlawful, with many insinuating that he should continue to protest and not take his medication. These comments are unfortunately no longer available, as just a few weeks ago the video was removed, but they had been reflected across multiple sites as people called out the commenters for essentially trying to convince someone to go off his medication cold turkey, and doing so without knowing the true extent of his medical.
I was about to say that. See, leaving one of those comments is scary because I'm a little confused if he's really suffering from it. That part kind of confused me a little bit. Y'all gotta explain that in the comment section. But just assuming that he does have it fully. Like, you don't really want to tell him to get off those meds? I don't know, because I don't know if that's going to trigger you to really act out. Maybe those medicines, even though those medicines are blah to your body, maybe they are controlling what it's supposed to control. I don't know. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. I don't know. So I would never leave a comment like, bro, leave them. Don't take them. Or I would never leave one that says, yeah, bro, take them. Because I don't know, and I'm not a doctor. So that's when social media gets scared of me, when people just start spewing out stuff that they think they know. When it's like, if you don't 100% know, if you don't fully know, bro, let it be, and then you find out the answer your damn self. I don't know. Damn. Sheesh.
Off his medication cold turkey, and doing so without knowing the true extent of his medical history, which obviously is irresponsible and potentially very dangerous. But unfortunately, these conflicting viewpoints came years later, and in that time surrounding the video's release, Tebebe had likely found the verification he was looking for. He was going to keep protesting his medication. This video would be the first and last that we would ever hear from Tebebe, but it wouldn't be the last we'd hear of him.
Oh my gosh, what happened?
Just 2 months following the video, Tebebe would make the local news after having an encounter at the hospital. There, a therapist entered his room to talk with him, when suddenly Tebebe snapped, grabbing her and refusing to let go, while performing lewd gestures toward her, and eventually pinning her on the ground, refusing to let her go. The situation led to Tebebe being arrested for sexual battery, but no jail time was ever given, as instead, a plea deal was reached where Tebebe agreed to stay in the hospital, and most importantly, he agreed to go back on his medication and take it as prescribed. It's this note that hints at the idea that he had likely gone off his medication.
For her safety, he should be at the same one. Just me, I don't know.
He agreed to go back on his medication and take it as prescribed. It's this note that hints at the idea that he had likely gone off his medication before this incident, something that would have directly led to his violent outburst. And given the event's proximity to the video that he had just posted, and the comments supporting his desire to stop taking his medication, it's not hard to theorize that Tebebe may have cut off his meds due to the advice of his comment section, or at the very least was further convinced that it was the right thing to do. Regardless, it seemed clear that the inconsistencies with his medication had caused him to lose control, and this wouldn't be the last time. In the summer of 2019, Tebebe was staying at an Embassy Suites hotel with his mother Zalem Abje, who had been caring for him around the clock. He had been moved there from the hospital as part of his treatment plan, as it kept him close by and easy to monitor regularly. But it also made him free of being cooped up in a hospital room, which clearly he didn't enjoy. The change of scenery was likely supposed to calm Tebebe and his growing anger issues, but unfortunately, his violent outbursts did not stop there. On August 20th at 1:30 a.m., Tebebe would get into an altercation with his mother in their hotel room. It's not clear what had started the arguments, but things would quickly turn physical, as Tebebe started.
See, and it sounds like when it go that way, he can't control it, which leaves me with the question: when people suffer from those issues, it's really hard. I don't know. I'm seriously asking. I'm not saying what to do, because I'm not in that situation. I don't have a right to say what to do. I'm asking, like, when people really suffer that, and there's a chance, hey, if I have my son who's not taking them, or I don't know if my son took the meds or not, he can flip out to the point where he really just goes crazy and, like, legit using all his strength to kill me. Like, what do I do? Like, do I keep them? Do I keep myself locked away from my son? Like, do I stay in my room when my door's locked or something? I don't know. Because it sounds like, to me, it sounds like there's nothing that can be done about this, as far as, like, curing it, I should say. But at the same time, it sounds really scary to be around, because it's like, are you safe to be around other people? I'm asking because I seriously don't know. And damn, I don't know. I ask because that's seriously her son, and I don't know what I would do if I have a kid that's going through that. Man, I'm a huge lover when it comes to kids. I want to love my kid regardless what's wrong with my kid. I don't want to feel like I have to
shove his mother, pushing her so hard that it would knock her out of the room, and then onto their balcony. Their room was on one of the top floors of the hotel, and it overlooked the lobby down below. And in one more violent outburst, Tebebe would give one final push, this time knocking her all the way over the railing, causing her to plummet to the ground below. She did not survive the impact. Tebebe Mokanen was arrested at the scene and held at a holding center where he remains to this day awaiting his trial, though his crime is clear, and it's likely he will spend the rest of his life either behind bars or in some kind of institution. The events that happened on that fateful morning are still somewhat unknown to this day, though we do know the events that led up to it, and the years of hurt and anger that
because she loved her baby, man. She wanted to help. Like she said, she thought it was going to be, that change of scene was going to help calm him down. It's nothing. I don't think there was anything she could have done. She loved her baby like she was supposed to, and she did, bro. And I don't think there's nothing she could have done. She legit loved her baby to death. Literally. And I can't 100% blame him. I can't. You can't, bro. This is when things really get dark for real. My bad. This, man.
Day, though we do know the events that led up to it, and the years of hurt and anger that Tebebe had built up, as well as his inconsistent and dangerous use of antipsychotics, which, unsurprisingly, it appears that he had again attempted to take himself off of his meds in the time surrounding his murderous fit, with this being used as the likely reason.
This one isn't scary, man. This one hurt.
Something that was telegraphed in one single video, which, looking back, almost foreshadows the tragic events that were soon to come. Events that may have been further spurred on by the viewers watching him.
The true miracle happened right out of a zombie movie.
Alive.
Our next video takes us across the world to the Philippines in mid-July 2014. The story begins on a tragic note as a family says their goodbyes to their 3-year-old daughter.
Oh my God,
in the days prior, the young girl had developed a severe fever, and without access to an up-to-date medical facility, she would pass away in the morning hours on July 12th.
Oh no!
With no pulse and no heartbeat, the little girl was pronounced dead and taken home to prepare for the funeral, which would be held the next day.
Oh my God, it's called alive. That girl gonna come back alive, huh?
It was obviously a somber event, as the girl was placed in her casket and the lid was shut. Family members and loved ones gathered around to celebrate the short life of a child who deserved so much more.
Exactly.
And watch as she was placed into the ground, which would be her final resting place. But before that would happen, one of the neighbors had been in charge of arranging the young girl's body before burial. Though something strange happened when he went to do so. Inside the coffin, the young girl's head began to move. It was a slight twitch, but in a panic, the neighbor checked for a pulse only to discover that her heart was still beating and the young girl was breathing. One of the family members begins to record as the sudden wave of realization hits that the child was actually alive.
No, this is crazy, y'all. This is crazy, y'all. Oh man, this is crazy, y'all. This is crazy.
It's the ultimate case of what if. Had that person not opened the casket to reposition the body, then that little girl would have been buried alive, and no one...
Bro. What the f***, dog?
Casket to reposition the body, then that little girl would have been buried alive.
Thank you for doing
and
that.
No
Thank
one would have ever known.
Oh my gosh.
It's a clip that I'm sure many of you have seen by now, as the original video itself has
I would
garnered
thank that
over
man
1
every
million
day.
views. And topping that, a news station that covered the story currently sits with 25 million views. It's one of the more viral horror stories that I've ever seen.
It's not a horror story, but it could have been a horror story. As that child parent, bro, to the best I can, that man would have never starved a day in his life. I'd have took care of that man like he's my own kid. Damn, I almost fell. Man, I'd have been thinking that man every day.
On YouTube, as seemingly everyone knows about this infamous video, and rightfully so. I mean, it's one of the craziest stories I have ever seen, both on YouTube or in the news.
Yes, this is crazy,
But the only problem is, this viral video didn't tell the whole story.
Oh my gosh. Oh gosh.
The story itself does in fact appear to be true, having been confirmed by Philippine officials who admitted that a mistake had been made in that particular hospital, which led to the mix-up and almost to the mistaken burial. But the story doesn't have the happy ending that many of us thought, as in reality, that child never actually woke up. She did have a pulse and shallow breathing, but she would never regain consciousness and remained in a comatose state. In fact, just 2 days after this video was taken, and on the 15th of July, she would once again be pronounced dead, this time for real. But looking back on the viral video viewed by millions, the anchors say that she was fine, calling it a miracle.
I mean, that's what it looked like. That's what they thought.
She's fine. I'm glad they opened that casket.
That's what it looked like to me. I'm thinking a miracle too.
Now, it may be possible that they just didn't know this at the time.
Exactly.
As based off of the way they're talking, it seems like their report would have came out the day or the day after the child was found alive. Only, that's not true either, as the child was determined to be alive on the 13th of July, and once again pronounced dead on the 15th, just 2 days later. Yet this video was published a full month later, on August 13th, 2014.
So was it just some news they came across and maybe they thought, oh, this was a miracle type of story, and they don't know that, no, this ain't the full story? So I don't know if I fully judge them yet, but sound like the path you taking me, it's about to get on some dirty conspiracy. You know I get there. It's about to get on some dirty ish. That's what it sound like it's going though. But let him finish talking. Shh, be quiet.
Published a full month later, on August 13th, 2014. So when this video went live, that little girl was long gone.
Yep.
And this is something that they likely knew, as it had been well reported in other major...
My bad, I had to go get the dough, but bro, I had to get a snack too. This video long, yeah. Hold up, but let me get a cookie real quick, man. This baby story got me so confused at this point, but it sounds like it's getting deep. Hey, I've been eating a lot of plant-based stuff lately, like, cause I've been craving hot dogs, but I don't like chitlin sticks, bro. So I've been eating like plant-based hot dogs, actually hella good, like plant-based burgers, plant-based cookies. Get my fiber, my protein still, get my vitamins, my vitamin A, my vitamin B, C. Well, I get my C from what's the name from my fruit. My vitamin D. You get a lot, bro. Start treating your body better, I'm telling you.
And this is something that they likely knew, as it had been well reported in other major news outlets on the day of her actual passing. I mean, nowadays, even the top Google result for this incident mentions her passing, and it came out on the very day it happened. So when this video went live, they had to have known it wasn't true. What started on its own as one of the darkest videos on the site has now become even more twisted as the true ending has been revealed. A miracle that turned out to be nothing more than a...
God damn, is that dirt-based or plant-based? I can't, it's like powder. I can't even chew this mother. I think this is the soil they grew the plants in based. The fuck going on? This is like baby powder. Oh, goddamn, could you put some plants in this bitch or some dirt? This shit goddamn nasty. I'm sorry. I've been chewing the shit out of this cookie. I can't get rid of it. I can't get rid of this shit. I'm sorry. Goddamn. Fuck that, cuz. Give me some Chips Ahoy. I'm about to edit out how long it took me to eat that damn cookie. Hold on, I'm sorry. Eat the rest of this shit off camera.
As the true ending has been revealed, a miracle that turned out to be nothing more than a mirage, leading to even more heartbreak, as the family was now forced to grieve and come to terms with this girl's passing twice.
Exactly.
And it's made even worse by the news report that has essentially rewritten the story's ending. But looking at just the video and the story as is, of how everything unfolded, it's still truly horrifying that this little girl was almost buried alive, whether she was conscious or not. And it makes me wonder how many others have been in that dreadful situation, buried alive by mistake.
Thought about
the
that
answer
too.
to that question is one that we'll quite literally never know, since it is sealed within the claustrophobic walls of a dark coffin, with no hope of escape.
And that's the end.
Computers are coming your way.
Divorce is often one of the more traumatic experiences that a young child can go through, as many are left in a state of confusion and distress at such a tumultuous time in their life. And for a young man named Daniel Bartlam, his childhood was sadly no different. Growing up in Nottinghamshire, England, Daniel's parents, Jackie and Adrian, would separate following the birth of Daniel's younger brother, with the situation leading to a split in the family, as the young boys would move to a new home with their mother. This brought Daniel to an unfamiliar town, as well as a brand new school, And to top it all off, Daniel's mother would soon find a new partner, further adding to the confusion that Daniel must have been feeling. All of these circumstances would lead Daniel to a declining mental state as he began to...
And it sucked because as the kid, it's like, I wish I can get through you to tell you, but I know that kid knows his parents. That's all that kid knows. But for the adult with experience, you know, sucks, but these things happen. You'll live, you'll get over it, you'll still love both of us the same, but we don't work together, so it's more dangerous for us to try to stay together. But both sides, regardless, they're not gonna see a side that they're going to like. But as a kid, it is gonna really hurt because they don't know that yet. They don't know life is going to work that way when you get older. Hey, you might get lucky, you have one of the ones that just die with your wife or your husband, whatever. But more than likely, it's a possibility this happens. But when it does happen, as long as both parents are still parents, being parents, it'll work out. You'll be okay. But I know, as the kid growing up with great parents, or probably what they think is great parents, great relationship, whatever, mommy and daddy, they're not gonna be able to see it no different way. And so I get where the story's about to go and why that kid is coming from that direction.
All of these circumstances would lead Daniel to a declining mental state as he began to isolate himself in his room, barely speaking to his family. Daniel's mother, Jackie, was well aware of the change in his behavior, and she soon thought of the perfect way to bring him out of this depression. So she saved up some money on the side until she eventually had enough to buy Daniel his very own iMac, a computer that he had been asking for years.
I mean, I can use dual monitors, but you know what I'm saying? It's cool. You know what I'm saying?
At the time, Daniel had a vested interest in technology, even having his own YouTube channel dedicated to the topic. But this new computer meant an upgrade in quality and a future with limitless possibilities.
Ooh,
Overjoyed, Daniel quickly began a new channel and dedicated his very first upload to his new device.
I got a feeling this story about to go somewhere else. This ain't about to be about him being hurt from the marriage. Something about to happen online. Let's see.
Hello YouTube, this is Daniel AB1702 here, and it's finally happened. I now have an iMac, and I can now make bigger and better videos.
The video is clearly nothing too special, as the quality is about what you would expect from a kid his age who was just starting out. And the following videos were much the same, with these uploads simply being compilations from a show he liked. It all may not have seemed like much, but this computer, along with this new channel, seemed to be the spark that he so badly needed, a new passion and a new outlook on life. But strangely, after just a few uploads, the account would go silent. This is something that happens all the time on YouTube, where a creator starts posting with high aspirations before abandoning their work, and it's typically due to a lack of success or just the overall busyness of life. But in Daniel's case, his reason for leaving was far darker, as right around the time of his last upload, he would experience the ultimate tragedy. On the morning of April 25th, 2011, neighbors of Daniel had reported hearing a commotion coming from his home. That commotion would soon turn to chaos, as the house suddenly erupted into flames, with smoke billowing out all sides. Through the commotion, Daniel would emerge from the home with his little brother and dog in hand, but his mother was nowhere to be found.
No.
Police and fire units arrived at the scene quickly, but were already too late, as inside the home they would find the badly burned and disfigured body of Jackie. And surprisingly, they'd soon notice that it wasn't the fire that had done her in.
I was about to say, wait, disfigured? Don't tell me it's this new goofball. Don't tell me that, man. Don't tell me, dog.
Been brutally murdered with what appeared to be a hammer. The scene was shocking and incredibly chaotic, but luckily Daniel had been there to explain everything.
Oh, don't
According
tell me
to the
he saw
child,
this.
a masked burglar had entered the home before confronting his mother. The confrontation then led to the anonymous person attacking Jackie with a hammer, causing her to collapse to the floor. He then says the intruder lit her body on fire, leading Daniel
Why?
to grab his brother and dog and escape from the blaze, saving what remained of his family as the murderer escaped out the back. Daniel's story stood out for several reasons, mainly because it showed Daniel was a hero for saving his brother and dog, and it showed just how traumatic that morning must have been for him.
Man,
as in the matter of one day, Daniel had lost his home and his mother
And his
in
mom.
probably the most devastating way imaginable. But his story also stood out for one other reason,
Oh,
with
here
that
we
reason
go.
being in regards to the killer. As police began their investigation, they searched and searched for any
Is it-
clues left behind from this supposed masked intruder, but they found nothing. No fingerprints, no footprints, no anything.
That a key?
And looking for any semblance of a lead, they started to search through Daniel's room, where through the charred remains, they miraculously found his computer.
It
in
was still
perfect
recording.
working order.
It was still recording,
Authorities
huh?
would search the child's device when they stumbled upon something rather bizarre. It was a story that Daniel had typed
Oh.
months before in a Word document that was set as the scene
Did he do it?
of a soap opera that he had been writing. The story read, Daniel Bartlam, 1997 to 2047, the longest serving male character to be on the show. The only place he couldn't get away with his deeds was with his mother Jackie. So one evening he made it look as though it was a break-in and murdered his mother with a hammer and then set her and the family home alight, but helped his brother out to safety.
Damn, that divorce must have hurted you. I don't know what happened in the family. I don't know how. I don't know if your mother done something really, really bad to your dad that you just really didn't like. But these are grown people. I don't know. I'm gonna let him finish the story. I'm just assuming right now. These are grown people problems. Hey, stay in your place. I don't want to say the way black people say it because I don't want to come off too harsh. But you know what I'm talking about. Stay in your place. I get it, bro. Like I said, I don't know what happened yet. That hurt, bro. Your mom and dad split. But what people don't understand, what I don't understand, what people don't get, it's okay with trying to fix your relationship. Your relationship ain't working. That's okay. That happens. Ain't nobody relationship perfect. It's okay trying to fix it. But if one side is just dead, not happy, done, I'm gone, I'm out of here, I'm already cheating, this is GG, let it go. It ain't the other side. You're a fool for trying to fix it. It's done. You ain't gotta hurt nobody. Just split your ways. I don't know what happened. We're gonna let it finish. But man, this video crazy. I need some snacks, but all I got up here is soil. That's crazy to me.
With a hammer and then set her and the family home alight, but helped his brother out to safety and got his neighbors to contact the police. The story ends with Daniel lying to the police and getting away with murder. It was a shocking revelation, as his mother had been killed with a hammer and set on fire through what Daniel had described as a break-in, just as his story was written. And to make it all stranger, further investigation would reveal that in the days prior to Jackie's death, Daniel had attempted to delete the document, though he had failed to fully remove it.
Empty
The
your
findings
trash.
went deeper, as countless screenshots and clips of a character from a show called Coronation Street were found on the hard drive, with it appearing as though Daniel had an obsession with this character.
If you'd have been watching Martin, you'd have been a little more happier. You'd have been laughing in life. I don't know what this show is, but I'm already depressed looking at it.
Were found on the hard drive, with it appearing as though Daniel had an obsession with this character, which proved to be rather interesting, as the character, John Stape, was a villain who had murdered another character with a claw hammer, the same weapon used on his mother. Investigators would keep digging until they eventually found the nail in the coffin, as it was revealed that in the days prior to the attack, Daniel had searched how to get away with murder.
That's
with a slew
crazy.
of information and the lack of evidence that a break-in had ever occurred,
And then, hold on, now think about it. Didn't she go in her bag? Everybody your little goofy ass time at? Trying to help you feel better? Unappreciative as fuck. Excuse my language. First I was feeling bad for bro. I'm not gonna cap to you. Nah, I don't. I'm sorry. This is crazy. let my mama buy me an iMac. Boy, she wouldn't have to ask me to wash dishes for the rest of the week. I'd have been washing them mugs. I ain't going past the week, though. I'm tired.
With the slew of information and the lack of
Man.
evidence that a break-in had ever occurred,
Thank you,
Daniel's
mama.
story quickly fell apart until he
welcome,
eventually
baby.
admitted the gruesome
Yeah, that nigga wasn't even shit anyway, mama. You know what I'm saying? I know, baby. Oh, I go back. I'm playing.
that he had been the one who had taken
Stop.
his mother's life.
It's crazy,
On the 24th
bro.
of April, Daniel would spend the night in his room rewatching one of his favorite Saw movies. He then emerged from the room carrying a claw hammer and approached his sleeping mother. He proceeded to strike her 7 times in the face before eventually setting her body on fire and
That's
escaping the home
crazy.
with his brother and dog, acting as the hero who had quote-unquote saved the day, when in reality it was all his doing. And the entire series of events had been plotted out on the very computer that his mother gave him.
I just said
the same
that.
computer that he had so excitedly made this video on just
Unstable
months
creature.
before the attack. To this day, we don't really know why Daniel chose to attack his mother, as any reason he's given has been fairly easily disproven, with many chalking it up to his tumultuous childhood, though we have learned more information about his early years, with many of these stories proving to be incredibly disturbing, and hinting at the idea that Daniel was mentally unwell. For instance, it was said that he had an obsession with gruesome movies and games that seemed to inspire his own violent thoughts as he began watching these graphic films at the age of 8. He took these films as inspiration to start writing his own stories, which almost always ended in death and murder, and the details of which were said to be incredibly intense. And in a much darker example, about 6 weeks before the murder, during a normal day at school, Daniel began desperately yanking at his tie, insisting that it was trying to strangle him. When further asked about this, he then revealed that he was hearing voices, and those voices were telling him to hurt people. But surprisingly, after being given a psychiatric evaluation, the counselor told his mother that there was nothing wrong with Daniel. But to be on the safe side, they did offer counseling that Jackie would quickly deny, a decision that, for her, may have ultimately proven fatal. Whatever made Daniel snap that day, it was seemingly a long time coming. And despite his young age, he would be sentenced to life in prison, with a chance for parole coming in the distant future. But the truly tragic note here is about his mother, Jackie, as she bought her son that iMac that he so clearly loved, and she did so in the hopes that it would bring some much-needed happiness during such a tough time in his life. How could she have known that in reality, Daniel would turn around and use that very computer to plan and eventually carry out her very own murder? I want to give a huge thank you to my gold tier and god tier patrons, Allie Farmer, Barry Winstanley, Zoo42.
Hey, no cap, bro. Hey, props to y'all, bro, man. These channels are fire. I'm not gonna cap, dude. But this, oh my god, this title is well freaking fit. I ain't gonna lie, I went into it ready to see like some horror story, you know, some spirits, some ghost boo, all that stuff and everything, because that's what we've been watching lately. We've been watching stories like this as well, though. This got dark. Man, it got so dark, I was having so much fun laughing at the cookie, because I needed to laugh. Like, I love laughing. That's what gave me by. But look, happy Halloween, man. This is crazy. I'm about to go finish eating my soil that the plant was grown in based cookies. Your boy's starving, bro. But I'm out.